Hi everyone, welcome back to another Star Citizen Universe news. Now I must apologise if my voice is a little bit in and out as I've had a bad cold all week, but I shall do my best. Now on the Star Citizen front this week, there's not been a tremendous amount of news. In Around the Verse there was an interesting segment on animations.
Squadron 42 animations. Do you remember recently we talked about metrics a lot? Well, recently at IMS we captured a whole bunch of universal transitions. These are transitions that get us into and out of usable objects. Some of the stuff that we have been working on are Lego pieces. Do you remember the metrics that we had talked about before in previous episodes? Well, here's one of the examples of what I'm talking about. These are some of our universal transitions. We went to the stage and actually shot a bunch of animations that fit our template for metrics. So as you can see, we have all these arrows here showing the metrics of how to get into an object, and we went to the sound stage over at Imaginarium Studios and we shot a bunch of universal transitions. You can see all the different ways a character can actually enter this in particular usable. This can be used across the board. It could be used for, in this case, we kind of have it set up for a mess hall table that you'd see in a cafeteria, but it could be used for anything. It could be like cockpits in certain ships. It could be anywhere that a character can actually sit down. And you can see that we have a bunch of different ways that an AI can actually approach an object and enter it, and then exit. And the reason why all these are important, and the reason why that we shot these universal transitions, is so that we have one piece of animation that we can go to for everything. And what we'll do is we'll take this and we'll motion edit this to work with the mess hall table. We'll do another motion edit and we'll edit it to work with booths inside of bars and restaurants and other various venues that you can go and sit down in. This allows AI and in some cases characters to players to actually approach a usable, and when they hit the use button they'll play a much smoother, much nicer animation to be able to sit down. These are all in the works, and we should be able to see all these at some point in Squadron 42 and in Persistent Universe. Along with some of the other things that we've been doing, which are setting up metrics for usable objects, so grabbing something, in this case a data pad, and being able to actually use it. This happens to be a transfer of data animation that you'll see inside Squadron 42 at some point, where you go aboard this derelict spaceship and you see this data pad floating. You gotta grab it, you gotta interact with it to achieve the mission. So we're doing a lot of these, in particular interactive animations as well. Here's an example of when you first interact with an object, in this case a data pad. You need a boot up sequence. So I'm going to just boot this thing up here and get ready to transfer some data. And we're going through and we're fine-tuning these animations of grabbing things, holstering these things if it's an NPC walking around. We're doing lots of finger articulation. All the animators here are hard at work polishing a lot of these animations that we have been working on for so long. This also includes something that is kind of the pet project for our animation director here, and that's the deck crew sequence, where you get to experience this as close to this amazing jet pilot military takeoff as you possibly can from the deck of an aircraft carrier.
Hey guys, so I'm working on the deck crew animation, so let's take a look. So what you're going to see here is I'm going to play two different camera angles. The first camera angle that you're seeing right now is what the player will see. It's a rough representation, so still work in progress. The next will be a camera switcher, so you can see all the different positions. These animations are fully interactive. They are not canned. That is if there's an explosion, if they get shot, if the ship lists or something like that, you'll see them fall over and get sucked out into space and react to whatever's happening around them. So the other thing too is that these are completely scalable also. So on a bigger ship, like let's say like the Bengal, for launching bigger ships, we can go through and we can adjust for that. All right, so I'm going to play the second camera angle here, okay, and I'm going to talk about the different crew positions. So this is the yellow plane director. I'm just going to step out, let everybody know that things are, that everything's safe. Everybody comes in from the orange safe zone and starts checking to make sure the craft is ready for launch. These are the green shirts that are doing all the checking here. Yellow plane director says hold. Is everybody safe? Okay, now I'm getting ready to pass this off to the shooter. Pass the ball off. Ball goes to him. Jet blaster flag goes up. They give the thumbs up. Shooter finishes the hover hand signal and signals the pilot to throttle up. And the shooter, once everything's safe, launches the craft. And that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Also in Around the Verse, Chris Smith showed us some of the work he's been doing on actually making the Hornets a lot more sleeker than what they are at present.
So here we have the new Hornets lined up, which are actually the original Hornets, but they've just been remodeled essentially. So really nothing changes on the model itself. Well, on the functionality or anything dimension-wise, everything stays the same. All I've done is basically go through and clean up the model itself, add our new modeling techniques with the palm detail and the new materials that we use, and basically bring the ship up to the level of our other current ships that we have in the game. So here you can get a good look at just how I changed it. It's a lot smoother. If you remember the old one, the textures aren't quite as clean like this. For example, I have the old model over here, and this kind of gives you a good visual standard of where it came from. So here's the old model, and here's the new model. And so as I did this model, the basic Hornet model is shared throughout all the variances. So all the other variances use the same mesh as the basic F7C. So here we have the new updated F7C model. Take a look at the bottom. Some of the components haven't been updated quite yet, but they will as well. As you can see, it's just a lot cleaner overall. And that was the main goal for this. So as you can see here, I've put a little bit more thought into the modeling. You can kind of see here I've modeled the wing in. Now it doesn't just smash into the geometry like on the old model. So I'll move on to the other models. Since it all shares the same mesh, all the other models will get updated as well. So here we have the Hornet Ghost. Some of the materials are still going to be tweaked by the time it's released. This initial pass right here. And then we have the radar equipped Hornet. So as you can see, all that updated mesh just propagates to the other models, which is very cool and helps out. I've also updated the cockpit of the S7C. If we swoop in here real quick, I've really kept the style of it the same. I didn't really change the style of it, but mainly the model has just been cleaned up. So the geometry doesn't have any weird fragmentations on it, and all that stuff has been cleaned up, and the detail is a lot more crisp. And also the chair was updated. I did keep the original style for everything as much as I could, and just some slight updates, like I said. But yeah, this should make it much nicer to pilot.
Now 2.6 is still being tested by the Avocati group, but fairly soon, hopefully, it will be put out to a wider group for testing. Then hopefully it will go live sometime in December. We'll just have to wait and see on that. In fact, the weekly production schedule report has been released, and although they actually do aim to try and get 2.6 released by the end of this week on the 16th, it's very likely that none of these dates will be met. They are only guidelines, bugs do crop up, so things are progressing, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, there may be a lack of news this week, But next week is the annual holiday live stream. It's actually on Friday the 16th, and I'm not going to try and predict what's going to be shown, whether we're going to see any Squadron 42 or not, or we're going to see more of maybe 2.6, maybe some more procedurally generated planets. But I've really got a strong feeling we'll definitely be seeing this guy. Well, thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like, and also it will help the channel a lot if you could consider subscribing. Now hopefully my voice will be back to normal before next time. So until then, wherever you're watching out there, you take care. Bye for now.